So I believe my son was 22. Yeah, he was almost 4 years ago. And he didn't have a car at the time. And so I would take him places if I could and wanted. And he had just moved out of his dad's house. His dad he was having trouble with alcoholism. So we put him in a home. Well, that's another whole story. He was going to live in his van, his old crappy van. So he parked it at a person's house, and he spent one night there. Then he got in a hotel, and he couldn't afford that, couldn't afford it and drink. And then so I put him in with an old boyfriend, but he had a heroin problem, and Mac's husband's brain was going, and the heroin guy stole all he got his card, and Jerry said, get whatever you want. Well, he went and got all the money out and bought heroin. So my son called me, and he was really upset. And so I went and picked him up, and he was in his pajama bottoms and his bare feet. I said, well, why don't you go put some shoes on, James? We might have to call the police here. And we did, and we fixed it. And I found him a better place to live, which is good for my kids because they don't need to see their dad homeless on the street. And what was the thing I can't remember. What was the other thing about him? Well, I bought him a bike, but he wouldn't ride it. It's not cool enough. Oh, I know. I remember. So he called me, and my son wanted to go to my psychiatrist. And I said, oh, yeah, of course. Come on. And so he came. We walked over, and he said, you're not going to like this. And I said, ooh, okay. So we went in and sat in the office of Dr. Petticelli, and James talked for a while about just a whole list of things that I was doing that was so terrible and bad. And so basically, I think he said he wanted to grow up. He said he doesn't want my help. He wants to be his own man. But the funny thing is I was so proud of him for saying, hey, I'm going to come talk to your doctor to get me in trouble. He's trying to get me in trouble. The doctor said something like, well, we'll go just a little bit on our medication to appease him. But I just feel like that was the day my son grew up and became a man. I feel like he broke up with his mom.